Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that's been gaining a lot of traction lately: the evolving relationship between Canadian citizens and the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI. Specifically, we're looking ahead to 2025 and exploring what this collaboration might look like. Now, you might be thinking, the FBI. Isn't that an American thing? And you're right, it is. But in our increasingly connected world, borders are becoming less of a barrier, especially when it comes to law enforcement and national security. Let's start with the basics. The FBI's primary jurisdiction is within the United States. However, it has a significant international presence through its legal attach or legats offices, which are located in U.S. embassies and consulates around the globe, including several right here in Canada. These offices are the main point of contact, facilitating cooperation between the FBI and Canadian law enforcement agencies like the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, or RCMP, and the Canadian Security Intelligence Service, CSI. Historically, this partnership has been incredibly strong, built on decades of mutual trust and shared objectives. Think about it. We share the longest undefended border in the world. What affects one country often has a ripple effect on the other. So, what's changing as we look towards 2025? The biggest driver of this evolution is technology. Cybercrime, for instance, doesn't respect national borders. A hacker group operating out of a third country could target infrastructure in both the US and Canada simultaneously. This is where the lines of cooperation really start to blur and become more integrated. We're not just talking about sharing information after an incident. We're talking about real-time joint operations. Imagine a scenario where FBI cyber specialists in Quantico are working directly with RCMP tech crime units in Ottawa, tracking a digital threat as it moves across networks. By 2025, we can expect these joint task forces to be more common and more formalized. This means a Canadian tech expert might find themselves working hand in hand, virtually or even physically, on an FBI-led investigation if the crime impacts both nations. This collaboration isn't just limited to the digital world. It also extends to combating transnational organized crime. Groups involved in smuggling, human trafficking, and illicit finance often operate sophisticated networks that span across North America. To dismantle these organizations, you need a coordinated approach. For a Canadian investigator, this might mean their case, which started with a local bust in Vancouver, suddenly becomes part of a much larger, multi-jurisdictional investigation led by an FBI task force. They might share evidence, coordinate arrests, and even testify in U.S. courts. The key here is the seamless flow of intelligence. Agreements like the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance, which includes Canada and the U.S., provide the framework for this deep level of information sharing. As technology makes this sharing faster and more efficient, the operational tempo between agencies is only going to increase. Now, let us talk about something many of you might be curious about. Can a Canadian citizen work directly for the FBI? This is a question that comes up a lot. Traditionally, to become an FBI special agent, you must be a U.S. citizen. This requirement is tied to national security and the sensitive nature of the work. As of now, and likely into 2025, this core requirement will remain firmly in place for sworn agent positions. However, the FBI is a massive organization with a huge demand for specialized skills. This is where opportunities for Canadians are expanding. The Bureau increasingly relies on contractors and specialized employees in fields like data science, linguistics, and forensic accounting. While direct employment as an agent is off the table, a Canadian with a highly sought-after skill set, particularly in cybersecurity or a niche scientific field, could potentially work as a contractor on specific FBI projects. This would typically happen through a third-party company that has been vetted to work on government contracts. Their involvement would be project-based, and they wouldn't have the same authority as a special agent. But their expertise would be integral to the mission. For example, A Canadian software developer who is a leading expert in a specific type of encryption might be brought in to help crack a complex case. Their work would be crucial, but they would be a consultant, not an employee with a badge and a gun. Think of it as being a highly specialized expert on call. Another avenue of involvement is through professional exchange programs. These are incredibly valuable initiatives where officers from allied nations, like the RCMP, are temporarily assigned to work within an FBI unit. A Canadian police officer might spend a year at the FBI Academy or with a specialized squad in Washington, D.C., learning FBI techniques and building personal relationships. When they return to Canada, they bring back that knowledge and a network of contacts that can be invaluable for future cross-border cases. These programs are the lifeblood of international cooperation. They build the human-to-human trust that no treaty or technology can replace. By 2025, we can anticipate these programs will be even more robust, focusing on emerging threats like domestic extremism and economic espionage. So, while a Canadian QAUN just walk into an FBI recruiting office and sign up to be an agent, their involvement is becoming more critical and more integrated than ever before. It's a partnership that's moving beyond simple information requests to a model of active operational collaboration. The future is about shared threats requiring shared responses. The criminal of 2025 doesn't care about the 49th parallel. And to be effective, law enforcement can't afford to be limited by it either. This means Canadian experts, investigators, and analysts will find themselves working more closely with their FBI counterparts, contributing their unique skills to protect the safety and security of both our countries. It's a testament to one of the strongest and most important security alliances in the world. What are your thoughts on this? Does this level of cross-border cooperation make you feel safer, or does it raise questions for you? Let me know down in the comments. I'm really curious to hear your perspective on this. Thanks so much for watching today. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more deep dives into topics like this. Until next time, stay curious.